Well, here's a quick shot of the cutter head and the pillars. You can see the rust that's on them. Quite a bit down here, as well as the pillars. See the rust on those as well. I'm going to be using the Bow Shield Rust Free to clean the rust off, and then more than likely, especially on the pillars, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of polishing on them, pretty them up, and everything should work better. So I'm not going to show the cleaning of the rust. I have other videos outlining that, but I will show the after. Alright, well, here's a quick shot after using the rust free. As you can see, the rust is gone. These things look great. You know, there's a little bit of staining left behind, which would be normal, but a far cry from what they were. So just a little quick shot there, and I'm going to chuck these up on the lathe and do some polishing on them. Well, I have one of the pillars chucked up in the lathe here. I'm going to polish this up. I'm just using one of the nuts in my chuck here to protect the threads, and just have it lightly threaded in there, and then of course I'm using the center to support the other end. I'm going to be using the micro mesh pads. Wood turners probably certainly know about these things. They are 1500 up to 12,000 grit. Now I'm starting in at 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, and 12,000. And my final polishing is going to be done with this half-inch semi-chrome polish. So I've got my ways covered here, so I don't, because I'm going to be working with water. So I'm just simply going to spritz one of these down, turn it on, slowly work back and forth, wipe it off, change to the next grit, and I'll work my way up and we'll see what we get. So here we go. Be very careful up here by the chuck. Just going to make a slow pass down here. Got a little bit of water that I'm allowing to feed in there. Running out of water, so I'll spray it again. I don't know if you can see that little bit of water I have there. So that will be one, and of course we need to clean that grit off. Notice I've got this really tight here because I'm working close to the chuck. My belt's slipping on the lathe. Belt was slipping there, sorry. Try to turn it back on. And then I'll move to the next grit, which this one will be 6,000. So I'm not really dimensionally changing this, I'm just kind of polishing and honing. Sorry about the camera there. And I'll show the finished result here in a minute, a side-by-side comparison. I think you'll be surprised. I'm going kind of fast here. I'd normally go at about a speed like so. But just trying to, I need to adjust the belt on my lathe. Just trying to make it through this section. Let's try this again. So that's the 6,000. Again, I'll wipe it off. I don't usually run my lathe this fast, so it's not really liking it. So now I'm moving up to 8,000. there's the 8,000. Now I'm going to jump up to the 12. Kind of boring to watch, but I just kind of wanted to see or show you guys exactly how I got where I was getting. So that was the 12,000 grit. Now I'm going to move in with this Hapich Simichrome polish. I'm just going to put some on my finger and kind of distribute it around so I don't sling it everywhere. Just kind of lather it up a little bit. And I'm going to come in with just a little bit on my rag as well. Just a little bit. This stuff goes a long way. So here we go. The center's getting a little bit loose. There we go. Just make a slow, controlled pass with this. Hopefully you can see everything brightening up. And then I'll turn to a clean spot on my rag and take all that compound off. And one more time. Okay, I'm trying to give you a close-up shot here. You can actually see my reflection in it. My hand moving around. And I'll bring in one that has not been done yet. Hopefully you can see the difference. So this thing, it feels like glass right now. It is super, super smooth. So I'll do the other three pillars. I'm going to go ahead and do the cutter head as well, just to do it. And I'll show a quick clip of all of them completed. Alright, well I have the pillars completed, but I just kind of wanted to show how I'm chucking this up. This has a left-handed nut on it, so I'm going to be turning my lathe backwards, and I have it in between centers as well with the nut on the end, and that's good because this edge right here is almost razor sharp. So I'm going to be very careful with this, and I'm going to be working from the top side, and it's going to be turning this way, and I'm going to slowly work down and do this one as well. So I'll give you a quick shot of how this is going to go. I'm having to work across those two gaps, so I'm being very careful here. I'm not putting as much pressure as I did on the other ones because of that reason. So that's the general idea on that. I'll go ahead and complete this. I just kind of wanted to show how it was set. Here's a quick shot after the polishing. Aside from a little bit of staining here and there, they really do look brand new. They cleaned up great. Here's a quick shot of the belt guard up top, and you can see if I push here, it just falls down. There's a little groove that this sets in, as well as right here, just fits underneath this bracket. And I'm pretty sure what happened is it fell down because I see some rubbing from a belt here, and it got this warm and it kind of loosened it up. So I'm going to go at this with a heat gun and stretch it out a little bit to give it a little more spring tension and hopefully eliminate that problem. So you can see how it's just kind of loose in there, and just a light little tap and it just falls right out. So I'll correct this real quick. Alright, well, I'm going to go at it here with my heat gun. It's going to take a minute. I'm just going to turn it up on high, not linger in one spot, and this should start to get pliable. Alright, well, I'm going to go at it here with my heat gun. It's going to take a minute. I'm just going to turn it up on high, not linger in one spot, and this should start to get pliable. Starting to get there. Okay, well, now I have it pliable. I'm just going to hold this until it cools, and it should take on that new shape. Alright, well, it's cooled off. It's going to work just fine. Just going to lip it under this bracket here and squeeze it in. There. Nice and solid. Quick solution if you have that problem. When I was cleaning up these side panels, I noticed there was a bunch of overspray on them from something. So I'm just taking a little 3M rubbing compound and getting rid of it. Of course, it doesn't hurt anything, but I'm just going to go ahead and take care of it. It'll only take me maybe 10 minutes to do this. So you can see I just got rid of those sections right there. and then I'll put a little bit of, I'll buff it back out. Okay, well I have the overspray removed and I got it polished back up. About 5 to 10 minutes. Polished it up with the Harbor Freight polisher. That thing works great. Look at the reflection on that. And this paint's not even flat. Here's the original for the other side. So about 5 minutes on this one. It's going to look better than new. When I was taking this apart, I showed you those chips and chunks of things that came out from this arena back here. It felt like there was a ledge back there, and there really was, but I just wanted to explain real quick what I did here. There was a lot of casting flash that was hanging off of this edge right here, so that in essence created a ledge for things to sit on, and they weren't falling down. So what I did was just a little quick work with a file, and I removed all that flash so I have a smooth transition here. I did the same thing on the front. It had some flash there as well, and there was a little buildup on this side. So that should take care of that in the future. There are all the pieces of this planer. Everything now is clean and ready to go back together.